Hello, Kevin. Thank you for being here today. My name is Joanna Maria, for those who are wondering, and you are Kevin Manke.
Yes.
I invited you, and I thought it would be nice for people who are listening that we would talk a little bit about your experiences, or maybe also mine experiences, about how it is to be in this reality and experience things which are usually normally not so well known, which are a bit outside the normal range of experiences. And yeah, we don't really know each other that well, but I thought it would just be interesting to know a little bit about you. So maybe you could tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll see from there how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Johanna. Nice to be here.
Yes.
And I'm Kevin Manke, and I'm not Kevin Manke. Since a few years, I'm observing myself and observing this reality, how it works, how life works, how my personality is working, how is the function of creation here in the Matrix. And after a few years of observation and investigation, I'm really sure that I'm more than my personality. And I think we are many people who are sure about what's happening here and that they are more as the personality. And yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, thank you for coming. I want to mention we are taping this in the Netherlands. I am Dutch, so English is not my first language as well for you. You come from Germany.
Yes, I'm from Germany.
Yes.
And I'm not a professional in English, but we hope the best.
Yeah, we do our best.
Yes, we do the best.
Yes, yes. So I've met you at some lectures of Martijn van Staveren, who does a lot of lectures in the Netherlands, and yeah, I thought it would be interesting to do this in English, so for the people who don't have the opportunity to maybe follow lectures in the Netherlands, or just on their own path of discovery, just to do it in English so more people can understand. And also, I understand you also do some videos in German.
Yes.
But I thought it would be nice to do it in English. Yes, I thought it would be nice to start. Maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself, about the journey if you've had so far, and not in detail, but just for a bit of explanation.
Yes, so I think it's good that we talk about a few things like the thoughts we have all. So for example, it starts already yesterday that I had the whole day I had the head full of thoughts. Why should I go here? So you have no idea. She invited you. You don't know each other. And I think for me and for you, it's something normally. It's normally, but for many people outside in the world, it's not normal. So of course, it's normal for them to have the mind full of thoughts.
Yes.
But it's not normal to talk about. And I think I know it is very important that we start talking about it. That we talk about public. So for example, I knew it is important that we have a start here to talk about things like this, to talk about consciousness, to talk about the hack in the matrix, to talk about the mind control. And yeah, this is what I experienced. So yesterday I realized that I have a lot of thoughts in the mind to don't come here because we don't know each other. So we have no idea, Kevin, what do you think who you are? You have nothing to say because you're nobody.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing the Matrix tried to get us to this is the story. The Matrix is working with the thoughts. They break in our mind and try to tell us that we are small and that we have nothing to say. But this is the biggest lie, and this is the biggest problem. Because we have a lot to say, everybody of us has a lot to say. And yes, it's important that we have a start.
Yes.
That we start to talk about these things.
Yes, because you mentioned the Matrix. For me, that's a known concept because I've followed lectures of Martijn van Staveren, where he talks also about alien influences that we have in this world, and that actually the reality where we are living in now is you could call it a matrix, because it's not what we think it is. It's actually a programmed reality. It's you could call it a matrix, but I'm sure there are other words to describe it as well. But in your experience, could you talk a little bit about it? How do you feel that this reality works where we are living in now?
This is a nice question, and this is not answered in 2 sentences.
Yes, I realized, but
what is the matrix? So the matrix starts with the birth, I would say, and much more early. So I come to this earth, or we all come to this earth, and make the experience of a birth. And then they give me a name. They tell me when is my birth date, where I am from. They tell me what is my religion. So this is everything part of the matrix. And part of the matrix is also that they try to hide who I am, or they try to hide who we are. And they are playing with our memories. And this is the very interesting story that they try, or they were very successfully in hiding our memories and our abilities, our skills. Yes, so in the last years, I really found out that we are more, that I am more as my personality, that I am more than my body. So it is possible to create things here with the power of my heart. So this is not. First, I thought this is something spiritual or whatever, but it is not. So we can really create something here. If it is something small, a small value of money, a camera, a car, a rocking chair, or a house or whatever, so it is possible we have an effect to this reality. Yes, and this is also a subject we have to talk about, because we are many people, many of us know about these things, and many people don't know about the things, but I think many people have a feeling of something went wrong here on the planet.
Yeah.
And when we start to investigate this feeling, then we can go deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole.
Yes, I think that creating consciously is a good topic to talk about. I just wanted to touch first on the word matrix, because maybe people don't know about it. And for me also, I'm aware that if you just listen to the news, or you're not very spiritually inclined to do meditation or other things, that maybe the things that we are talking about now are not really common known. So, but maybe we could just let people find out on themselves more about this. I don't know if there's much information about the internet on it, but yeah, we could talk about whatever we like. There's no restrictions as far as I'm concerned. And I would like to go back, because you mentioned the thoughts, that the thoughts are very invading, or can be. And for me as well, I find that that where we are living in this matrix, or it's actually a hologram. It's a lot of layers of information put together, and we see it as the reality that we live in. But actually, it's a very dynamic reality. Things can change, and what people actually see or experience really depends on how the brain is functioning. If it's really in sync with their heart force, or with the living force that we all are all part of. So, but actually the role of thoughts can be quite invasive. Like when you're feeling that you're in a flow, or that you really creating or doing art, then or there's something that you really feel that you should be doing in your life, but you never do it because you never get around to it. There are always thoughts, oh, but it's not important for me to do that, or it's not possible, or financially it's not feasible, or there are always thoughts that are like in the way somehow of us really being who we truly are, or us really reaching our full potential. So maybe you could expand a bit on that. How are you feeling about that? How does thoughts affect you in your life?
So a few years ago, they had a lot of more effect to me. Of course, in this moment, the thoughts have less impact to me, but I can't say that the thoughts doesn't have any effect to me. So we are full of programs. That means we are full of thoughts, we are full of worries, we are full of fears from when we come to planet, when we make the birth.
Yeah, when we are born. Yes.
Yes, when we are born. So first we have to observe ourselves. What kind of thoughts have I? What is happening in my mind? So few years ago, I had the head all the time full of I cannot do this because I don't have this, I'm not allowed, this is not allowed, I'm afraid because of this. And really we have to be honest with ourselves. Yes, we have to be honest to ourselves that there are fears. And then we can face the fears, that we are conscious about that there is a fear, and then we can start to break through the fears, because this is for me the way. So a few years ago I was too shy to talk to people in a grocery store, because that makes me boom, 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 boom. And then I found out, okay, when I break my fears, I get back more of my freedom. When I get back more of my freedom, I can move more free in this world. So then I started to travel to Asia, to Mexico, wherever. Started to make things I'm really afraid of. So you can observe, or I can observe, and I observed the reactions of my mind. Oh, this is not allowed, we cannot do this, maybe you hurt somebody, you cannot leave the country because of your parents, maybe they are sad about it. Yeah, but this is the prison in the mind. This is how the matrix is working, with worries and thoughts and fears. This is a kind of oppressing. What is oppressing? The matrix.
Oppression. Yeah.
Oppression.
Yeah.
So the matrix tries to keep us where we are. That you cannot expand yourself because everything is forbidden.
Yeah.
You don't wanna disappear somebody. So for example, in my life, when I leave Germany the first time for a 4-month trip to Asia, so many people were sad about it. And my mind was full of it. You cannot go because they are sad. Maybe somebody will die in this time. This is bad. You're a bad person. You cannot do this. And really, for weeks and months, my head was full of some thoughts like this, that I cannot do it. But I read a lot about that I have to do it, because I wanted to find out what will happen when I break the fear. And this was really magical, because what I observe in my life is when I start to face the fears and when I break through the fears, it's really one miracle after the other. And complete different reality will open and everything will change. It's like a dream reality. It's the reality, but a dream reality, because break through the fears has something to do with really follow your heart. So follow your heart is for many people just a saying, or what I observe is only a saying, follow your heart. But what is it really to follow your heart? Follow your heart means you are in the frequency of your heart, and you bring this frequency and this reality. And this is like a room you're moving in, and the matrix cannot break in. They can, so it's possible, but you change the frequency in the reality, and this is a way you're moving free in this reality.
Yeah, so it's like saying that the reality that we live in actually composes of different frequencies, and the way you actually are aware of your own thoughts and own emotions is how you react to the world around you. So that the way you actually perceive yourself has a direct influence on the reality as well. Yes.
Everything is changing. So we are not a personality. We are not a body. We are consciousness. We are an origin frequency from a complete different world. And what the matrix is, or what the matrix or the forces behind the matrix are telling us is that we are small, that we are the personalities. So you get so much reasons for that you are your name, your birth date, and your job, and whatever.
Yeah.
And in this, and in the moment you really, if you question this, and you start to think about if I'm really the personality, or is it possible that I am more, then you also feel the reaction of the matrix. So the matrix also reacts because they know who you are. The matrix knows who we are. And when we find out who we are, everything will change. Everything starts to change.
Yeah, so you're saying actually that because you faced your own fears, that you live more freely now. That it's the freedom that of living actually what your heart tells you to do. That's the reward, so to say, or that's the way to go, in the sense that if everybody lives more freely and actually follows what they really feel they should be doing in this life, without being restricted by all these thoughts and all these negative thinking, that we become more than what we actually think we are. We are actually a bigger consciousness. That consciousness becomes more alive, let's say, more in this moment.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, so facing the fears means making more or different experiences. And by touching and by doing more experiences, I'm getting in touch with my programs. And while I'm getting in touch with my programs, I have to face new fears. So, and with every fear I break through, the circle becomes bigger where I can move in. Because the thoughts cannot stop me, so the thoughts cannot stop us.
Yes.
When we look through the prison of thoughts, the prison of thinking. So for example, in the morning when I come here, I had the head full again with, maybe it's not the best idea, don't go there, you have no idea what will happen, maybe whatever, full of things, but the feeling was, no, I go. So, and if we are honest, how often we don't go to a place or don't go to a meeting because of this kind of thoughts?
Yeah, all these doubts and yeah.
This is the question, and when we really talk about what we do now, and we are not the only people on the planet with thoughts like this and feelings like this, we really have to make it visible.
Yes, so we actually limit ourselves in a way. So, because you call it the prison of your mind, which I agree with, because lots of thoughts are actually limiting yourself. So there's not actually a real authority person outside saying you can't do this, or your parents or your boss. There's actually nobody there, but it's your own thoughts inside your head which sort of take over, and it's on. The question is, do you decide to go along with those thoughts, or actually do you stand firm and say, no, I'm not just my thoughts, there's more to me than just what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yes, and I want to follow what's really inside of me. Yes.
Yeah, this is the question. Do you want to move inside the labyrinth? It's like a labyrinth, the mind. So there's only this and this and this and this way.
Yeah.
Or do you choose to go this way? And that means automatically, this is nothing, okay, I follow my heart, so I go with the flow.
Yeah.
And everything what feels good means I follow my heart. This is bullshit. So that means how to follow the heart. So really we can go inside our heart.
Yeah.
So so this is the way.
Yes.
Be aware of yourself. Go into silence maybe every day, or in the best case every day. So then you can really get in touch with yourself. Yes.
Yes, because I find, I've been in my life that I've had some health issues, so I went on the spiritual path of looking for answers outside of myself. But I find that a lot of spiritual teachings who also talk about listening to yourself, or being in the heart, or living from happiness and joy, or love and peace, that it's slightly different that what I hear you talking about, and what I've also realized by listening to lectures from Martijn van Staveren, is that there's a difference between just being love and joy all the time, and actually being more aware that there are other influences in this world which want to keep you in that prison of the mind. So this is what I would like to talk to you about, because I don't think many people know about this, but there are many influences that we cannot see, which are like behind the scenes, or we are not really aware of, because we actually only use a small part of our brain. I think only, I'm not sure exactly the numbers, but I think we only use about 8% of our brain, and of that part, maybe only like of all the information that comes through us, maybe we filter so much unconsciously that maybe we use only 1% of what actually comes to us. So a large part of our reality we actually cannot see consciously or are aware of. You could train yourself to see out more things, and people there are people who can see different realities that travel through this one, but I think that's quite a rare thing, that most people only see let's say the outside, or the 1% that we usually see. So I was wondering, maybe we could talk a little bit about that a lot of the things that in the spiritual teachings, they only talk about let's say they talk about the chakras, or they talk about meditation, or they talk about yoga, but that's still only a small part of what our true consciousness is really about, in my opinion. Because there are in this world there are other forces behind the scenes who have a different agenda, who actually want to keep the people in a small minded, or in this prison that you talk about. Could you talk about a little bit about that as well? How is your experience, like how is it different from spiritual teaching? Let's say what you say when you say about living from the heart. How is that different from spiritual?
So what I experience is that I know many people, and many people think that follow the heart is being having a good feeling. Let's meet people to cook something together and sing a song, and with this we change the world.
Yes.
So of course we are not here to change the world, and I'm not here to rescue the world. But my feeling is that this kind of meetings and this movement of the people this is not a problem, but it is a problem because the people like under hypnosis.
Yes.
It's like a hypnotic.
Yes.
So let's meet for the good feeling, and we don't talk about the real important things. So for example, with the what do you really feel? What do you think? Or what do you think? What do you think? And if we really investigate the possibility to go inside the heart, in the heart room, and give a command there to create something, or create pictures, images inside the heart room, bring it in the head, throw it in the matrix, and create the pictures.
Yes.
This is an effect we can have. This is the effect what we have here. And then it begins really to become interesting.
Yes.
Because this makes no sense for the mind, but this is changing everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and are there some personal experiences that you could share with us about how to create something, or maybe you could give an example?
yes, so there are different ways or different possibilities to create something, and this is I really love that subject. 2 weeks ago, I created a rocking chair. So rocking chair, it's some chair you can lay in, and I love to sit it like this, and then just go into silence and feel myself, be present in the body. This is also very important, really be present in the body, because everything is frequency, so the frequencies go into the body and can change some things. So I'm very often inside my body and feel him from the inside, so that nothing can go inside. And so I needed a rocking chair for a studio.
Yes.
Because for the breaks I need a rocking chair. I really love it. So and in this moment I realized that I just need to give the command for the rocking chair, because I am here to do what I have to do. So this is not for the good feeling, it is a mission what we have to do here. So so for the studio, that we can do videos about subjects like this, I need my rocking chair. So this is not for fun, it is really for the work. So I decided inside myself, okay, this is a command, I need a rocking chair. Bam. Really a few seconds later, I realized, okay, just go on eBay it's a marketplace in Germany. And really in this moment I was in a town, and in this town, just 10 minutes by car drive from there was a rocking chair for 40 euros. Of course you can say or think this is random or this is a coincidence, but I know this is not a coincidence because I gave the command. This is the same like, I think 10 days ago, I really felt inside I need a car. So until 10 days ago I was without a car, just by train and buses and ask people, and this is okay, it works of course. But I really felt I have to do a few things with the car, then I'm more flexible. And I really decided in the moment of the feeling, so I really felt I need a car. And in this moment I directly decided, okay, this is a command, I need a car now. And really, a few hours later I started to look in eBay, and the second car I saw was the car, and I really felt I want it. I really want it because I feel this is the car I need. So because I like to sleep, I wanted to sleep in the car. So it don't need to be a bus or a big car, just a car where I can have a little mattress inside. Perfect. So the second car I saw was this car, and I really know I want to have it. Yes, and then I called the number who was there. Yeah. And the woman said, yes, you can see the car, but maybe tomorrow it's away because tomorrow on at 2 p.m. a person from Leverkusen will come to buy the car. And I thought, okay, from Leverkusen, I am from Leverkusen. I said to her, yes, so please, if you don't come, please let me know, then I will come. So the first thought was, oh shit, the car is away because somebody else will buy it. But when I felt deeper, it was like, no, I am the guy from Leverkusen, so I'm really from Leverkusen. And in this moment I got a feeling from, yes, I'm a time traveler. So this is my car. Yeah. I really decided to get this car because I need it for the mission. Yes, so the next morning at, I don't know, 10 or 11 o'clock, the woman called me. So the car is still available because the guy cancelled the appointment. Oh yeah. Yes, so, and I said, yes, okay, it's mine. So then I asked my two friends, I stayed to this moment with them to go there, and we drove there, and I saw the car, and I directly knew it is the car I need for the mission. Yes, I bought it. The next day I registered it. Of course, the thoughts was, yes, you can see all the time a car in the internet and you can buy it. But it is not the same. I really feel it when it is a creation of mine. I really feel it because it's a difference in the reality. It's nothing what you can see, but you really can feel it. This is the way I experience it.
And it's this synchronicity as well, what I hear you talk about. Yeah.
Yes, this is one thing after the other, what is matching. Yeah. Everything matches to each other. This makes no sense. This is out of the brain. Yeah. This is really like I put the brain to the side, and this is a complete different reality I'm moving in these moments, in the moments of creation, in the moments of. This is like a shift in it's a shift in the reality.
Yeah. So it's more like instantaneous, because usually we're like thinking, I want that or I want to do that, and then we're sort of planning towards a goal. Yes. And what you're talking about is more. It feels like more instantaneous, more spontaneous. It's like you have the feeling, now I want to look on the internet for the car. And when you see it, you think, oh yeah, that's the car I want. Yes, so it's a more spontaneous sort of thing. Yeah,
that's a big difference. Yeah. So the mind tells me all the time, yes, you have to prepare yourself well with everything. Research this, make it slow or fast or whatever. Everything needs a form here in the matrix. Yeah. So the mind is complete programmed, and directly the mind has a plan how it have to works. But normally it is not. So there is the organic way. Yeah. So when the mind say, okay, we have to do this, and this, then the way could be, okay, I make nothing of this. I just go in the rocking chair, and just meditate for a while, go inside myself, go in my heart room and see what I need or want, or what I not need. And this is, and then I come back and everything has changed. The frequency is completely different.
Yeah, and also what your mind may think that you need, it might be actually quite different than what you really need inside. So I think that's also important what you said, that you actually connect with your inner being, which actually tells you or it guides you in the information that you really need, and not what your mind thinks. Yeah, that's also quite different.
Yeah, these are two different things. So of course the brain is sender and receiver, but also the heart, the heart intelligence is also a sender. Is the bigger sender.
Yeah, and
So
receiver as well.
Yes. So of course receiver because of the cosmic information from my origin being, from the origin world.
Yeah.
But what is interesting to observe inside myself, and this is I just can say for myself or talk for myself. So when I don't go in the silence every day, I start to realize, to see that in the mind, starting different programs, logical programs, what I have to do, who I am, I'm Kevin, the personality. But this I can stop by going in my heart, because here's the different frequency. Here's the frequency of the force. Here's the frequency of the creation. So when I go in my heart and really connect with my heart, when I'm really connected with myself, I bring automatically, by feeling my heart, by bringing the attention to my heart, just put the hand on the heart and feel the pounding. Is it the pounding?
Yeah, the pulsation. Yeah.
Yes, just feel the pulsation or the pounding of the heart brings this frequency in the head. And that means my head is now working for my heart. So my brain is taking the frequency of the heart, is taking the frequency of the creation, poop, and then I look through different eyes. So it's the same eyes, but it's a different frequency.
So it's not actually mindfulness, but it's heartfulness.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because mindfulness, you sort of are aware of what you're thinking, but in mindfulness, it's sort of like you're aligning your thoughts with what you feel deep inside. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like when I'm inside the heart, when I'm connected with myself, the brain is producing different thoughts. Not the programmed thoughts, not the matrix thoughts. The thoughts connected with the hearts are more free. Everything is possible. Nothing has to be in a special form.
Yeah.
This is more free, this is more organic, so I don't need to fix 6 things before I do something, because everything can happen. Everything is possible. This is a complete different reality.
Yeah, so that's also a more, when you talk about possibilities, it's more the quantum mechanics of the reality that we're living in, or the quantum physics, that when you have true attention for something, that opens more possibilities than just the 1 or 2 that the mind can think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so we think, okay, I need a rocking chair, I need something comfortable to sit in, to meditate for a while. And then the first thought is, okay, I have to go to a store and buy one. No, but sometimes it's somebody give it to you as a gift.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah, so 10 minutes later somebody is calling you. So maybe, yes, not with the rocking chair, but with everything.
Yeah.
It's a different way of living. It's a different way of thinking, because the thinking will change.
And actually it takes less effort almost, or the effort from actually doing something, like say you thinking, oh, I have to go to that store, or I have to visit that store, or buy it. It's actually living from the inside out is more, it seems like a more flowing way of being. Like it's not so tuck 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 tuck. It's more like what you say, organic.
Yeah, it's more comfortable. It's more easy. So of course the head is filling up very, very fast with thoughts, what I have to do, or what I need, or how it works. But then it's also the same when I have a lot of possibilities to choose for something.
Yeah.
Just go back in the heart. It needs, maybe with a little exercise, it just needs 5 or 10 minutes or faster. And then I observe all the possibilities. I just watch it neutral, without any wish, without any expectation. And it's like with the neutral perception, it is like all the possibilities who are not important, just it's going away. It's flowing down.
Yeah.
Flowing away.
Yeah. So you're not attached to the outcome actually.
Yes.
You sort of let the almost as if you're like when you're in synchronicity with the force field, the living field, that the living field sort of decides together with you. It's like a cooperation more.
Yes, it's really cooperation. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I say what I need because I know what to do, and the force is working with me together because I'm part of the force.
Yeah, and then you feel more alive as well, I suppose, because you're living actually from a different source almost. Yeah.
Yes, so every day has the it's possible that every day is a little miracle. Yes. Because every day is so full of everything. This is the complete difference to the old life. Then life was so half dead. It's like when you walk through the cities.
Yeah.
It looks like people has a bubble full of thoughts around them.
And not really connecting with each other or the world. They're just looking at their smartphone or
Yes, everybody's just walking behind the smartphone. I always say it's so humans go with a dog at the line.
Yeah.
And the smartphone is going with the human at the line. Yes.
Yeah.
This is also strange. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess for most people, I mean, they go to school and they follow education if they have the chance, or they have to go to work. It's like we're almost programmed to obey the way of being. Like it has to be that way. You have to get married and have kids and pay your mortgage, and like as if there's only one way of living life, and it's sort of like programmed beforehand. And I guess what you're talking about is that there are so many other possibilities that we almost forget that there are other possibilities or other way of living. And when you only follow the one program, it's almost boring, or it's almost like, because it's so predictable, and maybe that's why people are also now more depressed than ever, or feel burnout, because they're doing something which not really connected to themselves. So they almost they feel like they're like something is dying inside, because you're not really doing something which all of you is connected to, or you feel fully alive, or so. I guess that's the it's a totally different way of being, almost. Yeah.
Yes. It should be the usual way of being. So this is also why we talk about, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I know, because it's very important to talk about this. So we can be alive, and it is really nice to have fun in life. And it is really nice to really be the own creator of the life. And of course that means not that every day is a happy day, of course, no. Life is like an up and down. It's constantly up and down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, because also I think these times are challenging. Lots of things are changing, and what used to be like really secure, or like, let's say you worked at the same boss for all these years, but now all of a sudden things are changing, and people have to be more flexible. They have to change work, but they also have to, like, it seems like a lot of things, like the prices are rising. Everything is changing now, and there are lots of challenges that we have to face, not only on a personal level, but also on like a bigger level, as a community or as a society as a whole. So I have the feeling that lots of things are changing now, and that they're on a sort of almost like a tipping point, like which way are we going to, or what do we decide for our future, for our children. We have so many conflicts all the time, and of course you can say, well, that's not in my country, that's in a different country, it's not my problem, but it does affect us. It affects us now. Let's say in Europe, the prices of the oil and the gas have risen because of the conflict in Ukraine. So I guess what I'm saying is we can no longer depend on the old things that used to seem really solid. Like, we can no longer depend that we have the same boss for all these years, because things are changing, and we have to be more flexible as well. So I guess, where people used to go to the church every day, and that was their solid rock where they depended on. Also, these things, I feel lots of things are changing in society, that people are sort of looking at, then what do we do if all this falls away? Then how do we live, or where do I find a sort of a fundament or a solid base? And for me, that's been I feel it's more and more, it has to do not with thinking, oh, I have to make sure my pension is full, or I have to make sure I earn more next year, But for me, I think the more organic way of living, what we are talking about now, is actually more promising, because it gives so much more potential, and there's so much more ways of being that can come into real life. Like if people are really living from their heart, then that's an example for other people. Like if lots of securities fall away, let's say your financial situation is becoming less because the prices are going high, then what else do you depend on? And there's nothing. It seems like all the things outside us are a bit slipping away or slipping through our fingers. Then what's left? Then there's only you can say you can depend on your family or your relationship, but actually it's from inside. I think the force of the living and the changing. We have to sort of look inside and find the answers inside. It's no longer so easy to find answers on the outside. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but
there's one thing we can hold. This is ourself.
Yeah.
So this is also for me very important, to make it every day, to be in connection with myself. So so it doesn't matter what happened in the outside when I have myself, because I can trust myself. I trust myself, so I will find a way. And it is and this is for everybody who's watching this, or for so the Matrix is playing with our fears, is playing with our force. So what is happening on the planet right now is that the consciousness of the people are growing and exploding.
Yeah.
And what the Matrix tries is to pull us or to kick us in fears. So this is what I think why so much things are happening on the planet, with the Ukraine and the gas and the oil and the hot water. We don't have enough water, and this is everything to that we have something to do with the mind, that we are in the mind and that we are full of fears, and we are all programmed to have safety. We are all on a search for safety. This is also a very big program, I mean. So, and the real force is unsafety. So when I don't need safety, this is the way I experience this. It's like the Matrix and the mind is telling me I need safety. I need this and this and this and this and this and this, and after that you need this and this and this, and when you have this you need more.
Yeah.
So this is the story, but what I for me experience, and this is the way of how I navigate through the Matrix now, is I don't need any safety, because the unsafety is the wave of the creation, and I take my surfboard, put it on the wave of unsafety, and this is the force. So I have all the time everything what I need, everything what I really want for what I want to do.
Yeah.
Everything is there all the time, but I have no safety. But
So
everything is there.
Yeah, so you're out of your comfort zone, but
Yeah.
It actually becomes easier if you do it more often, or how do you experience that? Because you're saying it's unsafe because it's not what we're taught to do. We're taught to, save to pay our house or our mortgage. But if you say you let all that fall away, then it's more an organic way of living. But is it something that comes more easily when you do it more often, or is it still a big challenge to stay out of your head and in the flow of your heart?
So all in all, sometimes like this, sometimes like this. Sometimes it's easy. It's really up to the frequency, or really it's up to the mood. So there are days everything is easy. Everything runs boop, 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 like one big flow. But of course there are days and it's not so easy, because when I'm in the mind and it's not so easy, it's not easy to go every day out of the mind, because sometimes I don't know what all is happening here with frequencies from the outside and cars. So we talked short about when I came here. It felt like I fall asleep in the car. So and then I'm in the mind, and then it feels really difficult to do something.
Yeah.
But I think what is important is to remember in situations like this that I just have to follow. So follow myself, and just to trust myself. Also in situations when the head is full of thoughts.
So it's almost like a different kind of intelligence. It's more like the heart intelligence, as a bit different than the mind intelligence, because the mind can only think about problems, reactions, solutions. So the mind always tries to find solutions for the problems that we face. But what I hear you saying is more that if you live more from the heart intelligence, then the problems actually fall away, or it becomes less dominant in our thinking, so that we become less attached to what the problem is actually. So it's you think, oh, maybe it's not even my problem, it's just a program to think it's a problem. So it gives more freedom, because then you can live from a different perspective.
Yes, you can watch at it from a different side, or from a different consciousness. So for example, you have a problem, and the brain is directly searching for a solution to solve the problem. But the mind can also use the tools what the brain knows. So in the past I had these problems, that was the solution, I take this for solve the problem. But when I imagine, this is what you said something too, so we use our brain for I don't know, 5, 7, 8, maybe 10%, so there's a lot of air,
unused potential.
Yes, unused potential. So, and the DNA is turned off almost completely. I think 10% we can use, 12, something like this, maybe, I don't know. So this is not a lot. And also, we can see, I don't know, 0.01% of what is really there. So that means we are blind. So that means my unbelievable limited mind is trying to solve a problem with the tools it has. But what is possible out of the reality I can see with my eyes, out of the reality I can touch. So this is nothing to understand for the brain, but when we start to experience this way of living, when we start to experience this, then with more and more exercise we will find out, I don't need to think about anything. I just need to trust myself, keep the connection with myself, boop, and the information will come all the time, what is to do. Yes,
I think you're still thinking, but it's more in line with what you feel inside. So it's not like you actually turn your brain off, which is, I think, almost impossible. But I think more the thoughts that we have are more in sync with what really matters.
Turn off the brain would be really nice from time to time.
Yes, sometimes.
But of course we need it, and then it is nice. When the sender, or when the heart sender is sending the information, so the origin frequencies in the brain, and then the brain is thinking, or then I use the brain to think.
Yeah, it's almost like our brain is like a computer, like a sort of, we think it controls and commands everything that our body does, but for me, what I experience in my life, that most of the information that I get from the outside, the 1% that we perceive, actually comes from the heart, comes from inside. It doesn't come from the brain. So the information that we have for our brain to think about or to find out solutions is actually very limited, because the information that we get from the brain is much smaller than the information that we get from inside. And you could call it intuition maybe, or give it another name, or heart intelligence, or the source, or I don't know, people give it a lot of different names, but it's something that sort of feels right, like it's totally in sync with everything else. There's what you said at the beginning of our conversation, that sometimes coincidences look like coincidences, but it's actually not. It's like somehow there's a flow in the force field around you. Yeah, maybe that's a good way of explaining it. Yeah.
It's a very, very, what is it, quiet? It's a very quiet voice. Yes, and sometimes it's too quiet to... Yeah, in the mind, it's often very noisy. So we have to bring the mind in silence, and then we can listen to the voice from here, to the energies from here.
Yeah, I guess that's the difficult part, but I also think the other part, which I find is also difficult, that the mind sort of wants to take over. It wants to keep control. It wants to be in charge all the time, which makes it feel more secure. But what you said on the way, riding the waves of insecurity, is actually the more organic way of living. But our mind sort of is protesting all the time. No, you can't do that. Or no, it's too expensive. Or no, it thinks of all these reasons why things cannot happen. But when we step outside that box, then we see finally things are more possible than we thought. Yes, and even the reality changes around us, I think. The way reality behaves, it's actually different. because it's not so predictable anymore. So things happen, and there are synchronicities that makes things easier to manifest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, it becomes one big flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an up and down. It's an up and down and a flow. Yes.
But there are also, I don't know if you could talk about this as well. I think there are a lot of time when I'm in the flow, let's for example, when I'm making art or being creative, then there are lots of thoughts that come in my mind that sort of want, or maybe somebody calls me when I'm just about to meditate, or something happens and let's say the car breaks down when I want to go somewhere. There are a lot of things that can happen to sort of make a stop. And for my, you could say, oh, that's bad luck or it's just chance. But from what I've experienced myself, it's almost like somebody is watching us or something, or there's another intelligence in this world which we are usually not aware of, but actually tries to influence people who are breaking out of the, let's say, the prison of where we find ourselves sometime in. And there's this intelligence that actually wants to stop that. It wants to keep the human evolution almost, to stop it, and that they have their own agendas. And could you talk a bit about that, and maybe experiences or some examples that you can give? Do you recognize what I'm saying? Or?
Yes, of course. Yes, on the one hand, for example, in the spirituality scene, the people don't want to talk about it because this is the dark forces or whatever.
And you shouldn't pay attention to that.
Yes, because it will become bigger and bigger, but this is the biggest joke ever. So if we don't watch it, who else?
Yeah, then they can do whatever they want if nobody pays attention.
Exactly. They can do what they want because nobody is watching them.
Yeah.
So this is a big lie. This is a big problem because when we start watching everything, when we start to see it, then we can change it, because when you don't see it, you cannot change it.
When you're not aware of it, then it's outside of your reach almost. Yeah.
And of course, the dark forces or the Archon consciousness field or the Draconians, of course, they don't want that we talk about things like this. They don't want that we experience ourself, our real self. So that's why we have the heads full of thoughts, what not from us. So they control us over the mind. This is how I experience it. So because when we are the creators of this reality, and we are, then it is necessary for them to spread thoughts in our minds, that we create the reality they want. So and what is happening when we start to create our own thoughts, with our own feelings, or grounded on our own or emotions and feelings, then we bring the origin frequencies in the mind, and the matrix must follow our thoughts. This is the mechanism here inside. So this is why they are very, very aware of us. We're very aware of that, what is happening.
Yeah.
But they can't stop it. Yeah, this is an interesting investigation.
Yeah, because it almost feels like invasive. Like the thoughts are so invasive all the time. Like it's almost like it's. It's not even many of the thoughts that I have, for example, or insecurities, are maybe from the past, but they're not even mine. Because if you see that, we're so full of programs from our youth, or maybe you could call it programs even that are in our DNA from other parents that we had, or the parents of our parents. It's all information that's passed on to us. And do we act on that, or do we have the freedom to be who we really are? And that's one of my investigations as well. Like all this information that we carry in our bodies, it's a lot of DNA, but as you said, only part of it is active. But what about the other parts? I mean, there's lots of memory banks that are maybe when they become active, actually show us, well, no, we're much more than we're experiencing now. And how do you get access to that? That's only if you can step outside of those programs which are limiting you. And I think all these thoughts that are also like, they want to keep us in the prison of the mind, but somehow actually we don't even need the prison guards on the outside anymore, because we've become our own prison guards.
Yes.
We are our own thoughts that are limiting us all the time. and we cannot reach our full potential because we're always limited by thinking, oh, it's not possible, or blah blah blah.
Yes.
So there's so many thoughts also in our minds that keep us busy, that we almost forget, or we think we don't have time to spend really on ourselves and really appreciate, yeah, but what do I feel now? And what do I really want to do in life? Or what is really my goal here in this life? And am I actually doing that, or am I just compromising with whatever I have now? So I feel that there are forces which have another agenda than the free evolution of humankind. That's how I feel it. Yeah, and everything it's a matter of perspective as well. I mean, you could look at this like different ways, and people talk about the Illuminati or the dark state, but as far as I'm concerned, that's only part of the equation. If you look at a bigger picture, there's so many influences right now on this earth that it's almost impossible to know exactly who's doing what, like behind the scenes, even on politics or on the economic system that we're living in. I mean, I'm sure there are other systems, or even, let's say, can we live even without system? Could we live even without money, or is that something so impossible in our minds that sort of freedom would not be possible? I mean, we're so limited without even being aware in our thinking that things are only possible in one way, that I think there's it's almost I'm difficult defining the words, but it's almost a pity that so many people don't want to pay attention to these dark forces, because it's such a big influence in our life that we don't even realize. And it starts with the thinking, but there are so many actors in this reality, that there are so many parties that want a piece of it, because we're on this, what I've said, is this turning point of human evolution, that it's so important for people to actually be aware of their own power, what they really have inside, if they really would live to the fullest, that it's so important to talk about these things, that there are other intelligences, or other beings, or other that influence our reality, and one of those ways is through our thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. Because could you also say, this morning before we taped this conversation, you had some experiences that you went to the beach one day. Could you give that story if you want, or maybe another example? But
yes, I just wanted to so in the beginning it starts with just thoughts, but sometimes it changes that the forces, the forces of the other side, shown themselves in the outside. So suddenly there are a few jeeps following me, or a helicopter is standing over the house.
Black helicopters,
or for hours and hours the sirens or something like this.
Yeah, it's almost like the film The Matrix.
It's really like
the black agents, or the
yes, and this is something really. This is too much for the mind in the beginning. This is really like a break through the mind. This is they break the psyche. What psyche in English? The psyche. No.
The psyche, yeah.
Yeah. So this is too much in the beginning.
Yeah, people think it's like it's fantasy, or these people are losing it, or
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's actually a reality. At least in your experience, it certainly is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I know so much people who made these experiences, and this is also necessary and important that we talk about. That so I'm not crazy, you're not crazy, all the other people not crazy.
Yeah.
So we
so you know.
we really have to investigate it, and we have to talk about it. And this is a beginning for us. Yeah.
Yeah, because I also think there are a lot of people in let's say in psychiatric institutions who have been institutionalized or drugged, or because they see things that most people don't see.
Yes.
And actually, maybe it's not a sickness. Maybe what they're seeing is actually real. Only we don't realize it, or because we don't have any references as how to deal with that, we sort of push it away and put them under drugs, so they're like sort of not even able to function anymore. But maybe what some people are actually talking about is really real, and this is what worries me as well. That people who actually experiences these things, they're actually sort of said, oh, but you're sick, you're mentally ill. When if we really consider it like in a broader perspective, many of these things, that they're not just mentally ill, but it's more society that has been so has learned to look at things in such a small way of thinking that all these other things which fall outside of the box, we actually categorize them as bad or evil, or no, you're sick, or you're seeing things, or you're crazy. But actually, if we broaden our perspective, then there are a lot of people who actually now think that they're crazy or going lunatic. They actually think, oh wait, some people experiencing the same thing I do. Maybe I'm not crazy, what you said.
Yes.
Maybe this is actually reality. And I think the shock of when people finally realize what reality really is about, is going to be so big that it's better to talk about it now than to just shut up and wait for everything to fall apart. I mean, we could talk about these things and maybe people recognize it, or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so you're not alone. So when you had some meetings with extraterrestrials or other beings, or if you ever had some other Sichtungen, viewings, you're not crazy. So the society is kind of crazy, or not a society. The programs they give us.
Yeah.
So we talked about when the brain is limited and almost offline. The DNA is offline. Our perception is almost offline. We are offline. So when everything is frequency, so we see nothing. That means when an area in the brain of another person is more activated, that means he can see more. That means not he's sick.
Yeah.
And he don't need tablets or so pills.
I sometimes think of it as like a TV channel. Let's say you have 100 TV channels, but most of us are actually only tuned into one. So we sort of agree, okay, this is reality, this is what it's supposed to be like. But let's say a different person is actually tuned to a channel right next to it, and you can see that this is the one most people agree with. But yeah, who's telling me? I mean, I'm not the one to decide if that's true or not. If it's for that person, it is true. Then maybe it's just a different channel that the person is in that I can't see, but the person can. So who am I to say? Well, that's not true what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
or you're a liar or whatever. Yeah.
It's like with the TV set. So I like this example. So you have a TV set in the room.
Yeah.
And you can receive with a TV set. You can receive 100 different programs.
Yeah.
But you can see only one at the same time. But the frequencies are still in the room.
They're still there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the same with the mind. So billions of frequencies are here in the room, but I only can see the one.
Tune into one frequency at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means not the room is full of other beings or frequencies and whatever.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting thought, because actually we're just used to experiencing one thing at a time, or have one experience. So it's actually, maybe it's just like we're so used to being tuned into one frequency that even though the other frequencies are there, we can't see them anymore. Even if we could, we're so used to just being in the one frequency. Because I guess there are people who can see different realities and different perspectives at the same time without actually being crazy, but it's just their way of experiencing things is so different than ours.
Yes.
That they can see things that maybe you by standing right next to me and I say, oh, can you see that? And you can't see it, but I see it because my mind or my whole system is sort of tuned differently than yours.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's I think it's good to talk about these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important. Yes.
Yeah. But could you tell me more about the story that you told me this morning about your trip to the beach as an example?
Yeah, that was, 2 weeks ago. And yes, I was on the way to the beach because I thought about just to make one day of rest at the beach. So I like to just lay in the sand and make nothing much. And when I arrived there, it was so on the way to the beach, there was a few jeeps around me, and I really felt frequencies too.
Yeah.
So not only the physical jeep was surrounding me.
There were
so
black jeeps as well.
Yes, black jeeps and Defender and the United Nations. It looks like a Panzer. What is it? A tank.
Yeah.
Looks like a small tank. I never saw a small tank like this on the street, and I really thought, what's happening here? And at this moment, I was really in my force, so I just observed it. And what happened later at the beach was that I lay in the sand and I write some things for me. So this is also a way to create something, to write down what you really feel and what you need or what you want to create. And after that writing, I lay down and I create something in my heart, and I was really, really present. And when I'm really present in my body, when I'm really connected, it's like it's a big vibration in my body. It's like an explosion. I really feel it, and it felt so strong in the matrix that the matrix really felt there is something wrong. And so next to me, 20-30 meters, I realized there was a woman. She's watching me all the time. And the first thought was, okay, there's an old woman, she's maybe bored and just watching you, but I really felt the frequency, the energy behind it. It was not a normal view, and it was not a normal old woman. And suddenly from the left side people are watching, staring me, and from everywhere people staring me, and I really felt in this moment, okay, you're under they're watching me.
Yeah.
Then I had to pay more money for the ticket at the beach.
For your car.
Yes, for the car. So I went there, and maybe 15 minutes I went back to the beach, and suddenly, because I wanted to return, because I felt, okay, the energy is nice, and I like it to be in the nature, to lay in the sand and create something, just be aware of myself. Yes, and suddenly a few minutes later was there a small sandstorm. It was not a small sand, it was a sandstorm.
On the beach, yeah.
Yes, so the sand was flowing everywhere and the people were leaving the beach, and I thought, this is not possible in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And the feeling was, this is because of you. This is not because of because the weather is the same like before, but here is a big storm.
Yeah. It was because you were concentrating on your force and your power.
Yes, because I was really in my force, and this is really something what we all can experience, and many people are experiencing, and this is that we really have to do it again and again and again in the force. Yes, and suddenly there was a helicopter over me, flying over me, and I really felt, okay, I see you. Yeah. Yes, I see you. And then I found a place next to a few seats. I tried to build something with towels so that the sand cannot hit me, touch me. And this was a weird situation, because I sit there and I stand up, and suddenly there was two in a black Jeep.
On the beach?
Yes, on the beach, a black Jeep, and a man with sunglasses, and I don't know, it was a hemd.
Shirt.
Yes, a shirt. Yeah. And the arm was the left arm out of the window, and he was watching at me. And it was like, I see you. And I said, yes, I see you too. And really the feeling was, and the thoughts was the interesting. Kevin, this is too big for you. Go home. Go home. You can go now. This is really dangerous. Go now. Of course, my mind thinks this is dangerous, and I also get the feeling of this is dangerous, and kind of a fear. There was a fear, of course, so the thoughts are there, the fears connected to the feelings. I got a feeling of this is dangerous, and of course in this situation I realized, okay, this is a lot now. Yeah. And it was a lot. It is not a lot for me as a time traveler. It's a lot for the mind, for the psyche. So this is a lot. So and then I went back. So and then in this moment I decided I go, but not because of you. I decided that I go because I felt my the mind. It was too much for the mind. Yeah. Because this is like in a Hollywood movie. Yes, and on the way back, it was again cars surrounded me, small cars, big cars, and all the time really new cars like Jeeps. And I really saw them all the time, and I started to scream from time to time to get my force back, because I felt and I realized all the time frequencies around me. It was like a frequency shooting against me, and my body was unbelievably tired, and I was not tired. So the eyes started to close, and I felt it, and I thought, okay, no. Okay, and then I decided to go on the rest place, gasolina station, on the highway. And then I stand next to the car, and I really thought to myself, okay, or my personality was thinking, okay, this is a lot. This is really a lot what's happening here. This is because of me. This is okay. And then I decided to make some stretching and moving exercises to wake up the body. And then I decided to get some coffee and Yes, it was in the Netherlands. They have really nice and cheese things in the
In the
so
shop.
yes, in the shop. So I decided to get some cheese things
Yeah.
and the coffee. Yes, and on the way in the shop, I saw again a Jeep 50 meters from me, and in front of the Jeep was a guy and a man in a suit with a cigarette, and he watched me with the sunglasses. And it was like the feeling of I see you. And I really was in this moment. I was not 100% because there was a lot of things happening in this day, and I just said back, I see you too. Then I was in the shop and I just had a look for the different kinds of coffee, and I don't know, and in seconds 20 or 30 people rush the shop and everything is full. The line was full, everything was full with people, and the frequencies start again, so the mind was going crazy, and I think, oh man, you're really inside. And then the thoughts again, this is too big for you, this is too big for you, feel small and go home. And I say no, I know you're inside, and this is the invasion. This is for me like an invasion. They were inside, they tried it all the time, and I was in my force all the time, but sometimes or suddenly the point was it's like a break in. The invasion is it's like complete. They're in, but I know who I am. So that means not that I run away. I don't run at home because of them.
Yeah.
So I stay inside, but they are also inside. This is something I have to observe how to be so forced.
But could you say that they're almost feeling like it's like frequency weapons, or are there thoughts invading you from other people, or is it?
In this moment, it was a frequency weapon. Yes, for sure, very for sure.
Yeah.
So I know the thoughts of other people, of course. When so you go in I go into a room and I feel unwell, and I know people had a fight before I entered the room. Something like this. This is normal, or
That's
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah.
This is different when the mind. It feels like it feels like it don't feels like my head becomes red and hot, and it feels like Gedankenrasen. It's like a run of the thoughts. I can't stop it, or it's very hard to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And you would say this was directly related to you being on the beach and being really in your power and
Yes, it was a day
creating.
full of power. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like seems like a bad science fiction movie almost that you're in the middle of then. Yeah.
Yes, we are all in the middle.
Yeah.
This is important to know. We are all in the middle. We are all the center of the. And this is what they try to. This is what they try to hide. We are the center of everything. We are the. We are the, what is it, the Hauptdarsteller, the actors of our own scripts, of our own movies, so we decide what will happen. We decide, not them. Yes. So we can take the pen and write our own script.
Yeah, instead of following somebody else's instructions or somebody else's script, or doing what you told you should do or your whole life, and just pay your mortgage and then die and try to be happy in between.
Yes.
Which is sort of limited sort of happiness almost. Yeah. Although I suppose some people are really just happy with what they have, but then I always have the feeling like maybe if even if like, because we live in the Netherlands. The Netherlands is one of the top 10 or maybe top 20 of the richest countries in the world, and we don't have much problems as in like war or conflicts or political tensions. But so in that way, I always feel a bit. What's the English word? I always feel very blessed to be living here. But then when, because I've lived in other countries as well, and in South America and in developing countries, I always feel that everybody should have the chance to be happy, and. So even if I'm happy, there are still a lot of people actually, I think maybe 80% of the world population live under the what they call in Dutch the armoedegrens, so the border, like if you're under that, you earn less than a certain amount, then you have barely enough money to get by. So you're living in the streets, or you're living in the not even a decent house, but just some house constructed with cardboards and plastic. So a lot of people are actually living in those conditions and having to pick out the valuable things from the trash. And I've seen these things with my own eyes, so I can really relate to that. And you can say, well, but then we have to change the economic system, or it's politics, and we can't do anything about that. But what I'm feeling is that we can change the world, or not actually the world, but we can change the reality if we live in the reality that we really feel is according to our feelings inside, our deeper feelings, when you're actually in your power and living what you truly should be living, then that's a frequency that you send through, and it passes through the whole world, and then other possibilities can open up. So even for people that we think we're not connected to, or it's the other side of the world and we can't do anything about those people who are living in such bad conditions, it actually, in my opinion, it actually does change what we do on a day-to-day basis. So if we actually live more from our own power, then this frequency goes into the world and into the reality, and other possibilities can open up, even for those people that we don't know. So for me, like even let's say people just want to be happy, for me that's not enough, because then other people, how can you be happy if other people are still suffering? So yeah, but I guess maybe that's because I've seen it with my own eyes. I always feel very, not sure the English word, connected to what is happening in the world. Yeah, so it's important to stay connected, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe so I get a question. I
Yeah.
have a question for everybody now. So the first question could be, who are you, or who I am? That we all question this.
Yeah.
Ourselves, who I am, why I am here, what role I am playing here, and if I am playing a role, for what I am here. What is my message? What is my why I am here, why you are here? What is the message? And yes.
Have you found that for yourself? Have you found an answer to that question? Do you think, or is that still a road of discovery that you're just starting on?
It's still a road. It's still in progress.
Yeah.
But for this moment, I really can say I want to talk about these subjects because this is what I feel in the moment. If we don't talk about who we are and what abilities we have and where we are coming from, I don't think that anything will change.
Yeah.
So that means for bring new possibilities in this world, we have to bring new frequencies. So we have to be present in the bodies.
Yeah.
Because when we are origin beings from the creation, from the origin world, then I have to be inside. Really, I have to be present in this body, and while I'm present in this body, I can change the body because I bring the new frequencies in the body, and over the body we bring the frequencies, the new possibilities in this reality.
Yeah.
And this is the begin.
Yeah.
And this is too much for the mind to think. So for my mind, it is too much. So can we live without money? Do we need a new system of this? We have to do but we need the politics. I think. No, I know it will be something complete different.
Yeah, I guess that's what we talked about before, the more organic way of things happening instead of the mind trying to find solutions. So maybe if we're talking about this subject and we pay really attention to it, that somebody else in another part of the world might find a way of a new way of bringing about the economy. So it's not like we have to do everything, but it's more a synchronicity, I believe, that if everybody lives according to their own synchronicity, then these people who have maybe good inventions for maybe free energy or that they have more of a place to be, like they can they get more chances to actually put it into the world, the good ideas that they have, because now lots of ideas may be there. I mean, there might even be inventions already that people had about curing people or having free energy, but they've been maybe suppressed by all the big companies who have the big money, and they want to keep it that way because they have the most profits, of course, with all the oil selling. But maybe we don't even need oil anymore. Maybe
Yes.
there are inventions that's been here 10, 20 years and only we don't know about it because it's never talked about. or people are called crazy or whatever, and
Or we know about it, but nobody can earn money with it, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, with the energy. There is so much possible in a reality like this, but the problem is that the thing is that there are forces, or they have they have different interests.
Different agendas.
Yes, different agendas. Yes.
Yeah. And I know Martijn Verstaver talks about these different forces and the alien frequencies, and have different agendas. But have you figured out what these agendas are? And have you a clear idea about that, or is it just more of a concept that? Have you ever met? Let's say, have you ever met or seen anything that's outside of this world that you think, oh wait, this is something, a different intelligence than what we see in the it's not human, let's say. Have you ever seen anything like that?
So the first, when I look around on the planet, and I traveled also many times through Asia and Central America, and also here in Europe, and what I see or what I observe is that most of the people are not happy. So for me, one agenda is people should be not happy. People should have less everything. People are the people. We are as a collective. We are not free.
Yeah.
The politics and whoever is telling us what we have to do, what we are allowed to do. You have to make your taxes. You have to give away your half of the money. You have to do this. You need a job. You need that.
Yeah.
The food is full of I don't know, and the water and the air they are spraying, and
It's quite a lot, then.
Yes, this is really a lot, and we could talk for the next 21 days, I think, without any break. And yes, I had some contact a few years ago with extraterrestrial beings. So of course I had more meetings or
Encounters.
Moments when we met.
Yeah.
But most of the cases they were not so friendly to me. Yes, but I like to talk about the one situation, the friendly ones were with me or by me.
Yeah.
It was a situation a few years ago in my living room, in my old flat, in my old room. And I sat on the couch, and suddenly a portal is opened. There's nothing here in this reality what is like this. It looks like a liquid silver or liquid aluminium. It was a portal, and it opened sometimes. It was suddenly at the wall.
Yeah.
And suddenly it came an arm through. There was an arm and wings, as waves. And really my mind was, what is this? And then directly...
And you weren't on drugs or anything?
No. And I just thought, okay, just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. There's a fear, okay, and I just breathe. And suddenly an Arcturian came, and Pleiade. And the other guys, I don't know. I know them from the feeling, because I know they are all the time with me on the way. That was the feeling. I knew them, but I don't know them. So I don't recognize them with the mind, but I recognize them with the feeling.
Okay.
Yes, and that was a special moment for me, because I knew they exist, but in this moment I saw them.
Wow.
And that was a special moment for me. That was really my friends. They are all the time with me on the way, and in this moment they were physically in the room.
Wow.
And in this moment I think about maybe let's talk about these experiences in our lives, that we bring this information also in this reality, because contact is real.
Yeah.
We are not alone, and
even if you think about how many planets or how many solar systems there are, even the mathematical possibilities of that there's other life other than Earth is so big that we don't even realize it.
Billions of planets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Only in this universe, in this sun system.
Yeah, but there's so many other solar systems, and just the idea of that humans are the only living things in all of existence is such an arrogant thing or maybe not even arrogant, but just a stupid thing of thinking, because I mean, just the mathematical possibilities alone, it just proves that there has to be more than just us, And it's not just bacteria. I mean, there are other life forms who are maybe more or less evolved than us, but there are just so many different realities that we are not aware of, again, because we're only using a small part of our brain.
Yes, and all,
yeah,
yes.
so it's also not fair, I think, to discard people who have experiences with aliens as thinking, oh, that's nothing, or it's
Yes.
not true, because who are we to say it's not true? If I see something that you can't, or I can hear something and you are maybe hardly deaf or partly deaf, then even if I hear it, it's still, you can't say, oh, it's not true. It's still true. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up and
Yes.
sharing it with us.
And also the just an earthly thinking. So when the Jesus Christ story is true, with the 2000 years after Jesus we have now. So that means and the technology we have, so smartphones, laptops, and maybe somebody flight to the moon.
Yeah.
So we have some technologies here on Earth. So just for example, and when on in a different world, they are 20,000 years before us.
Yeah.
Or 1,000,000 years,
Yeah.
or 1,000,000,000,000 years.
Yeah.
What kind of technologies they will have?
In the future.
So.
And even time travel, I mean, we think it's not possible, but if it is, I mean, I'm sure there are people who will come back and try to change history.
Yes.
In a positive way and also in a negative way.
Yes.
I think there's much more going on that we even know of, and I'm sure there are lots of secret military bases on Earth that have a lot of technology which is way ahead of us that we even know of, because they don't want to share it, or they still want to experiment with it maybe. And there are lots of things that we don't know of.
Yes.
And even maybe secret pacts that governments have made with aliens. I mean, there are lots of sightings, but before everything was just, oh, that's not true. But even Pentagon, I think, where they had a press release some time ago that a lot of the UFO sightings are actually true. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many things we're not aware of, and I think again we're in a big of shock if you never put your attention to this or not aware of this. So I think it's good to talk about it now. Yeah.
Yes.
And we still can talk freely about these things,
yes.
And it's not. Yeah.
It's really time to talk about everything and make everything visible, because our ability, or our origin ability, is to perceive things, and everything what we perceive will get a move.
Yeah.
Everything will move what we see.
Yeah.
Nothing can change if we don't watch it.
Yeah.
So this is very important.
Yeah, that's the quantum physics in action.
Yes.
Could we go a bit back to your experience in the beach? Because I'm sure that some people will say, well, maybe you were just paranoia and thinking that these people were all watching you, or maybe it's just your imagination. What made it for you real? I mean, what made you decide, no, this is real, and this is actually frequencies attacking me, or yeah.
So this is just a feeling inside me. This is my observation, what I did in the last years, and what I'm still doing.
Yeah.
I had a similar situation in Costa Rica when I was there in the last year.
Yeah.
That was like a complete overtaken, it was a city complete overtaken from one on the other moment. It feels like I'm in a frequency. I'm moving in a frequency, and from one to the other moment, something is changing. And in Costa Rica, it was like 10 people on the left street side and 10 people on the right street side. Everybody is moving to me, black eyes, and it's just watching me. And in this moment, it was also too much for my mind. It's like a Computerabsturz.
Yeah.
It's too much for the system.
So it's like a computer crash in your brain?
Yes, it's like a crash. Yes, it's a crash. It's too much.
Because it can't process the information.
Yes, can't process the information, because this is something not from this earth. This is something what is not possible for the normal programmed mind.
Yeah.
This is not from here.
Yeah.
And then is the question, this is what I observe all the time, do I go back? Do I stay? Or do I will continue the journey? So these options I have.
Yeah.
So the first reaction is, oh man, I stop with everything, because this is too much for me. This is too much for the mind.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not paranoid, I know what is happening, and I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, in the Netherlands we have Martijn Verstaver talking openly about contact with other alien races and other beings, benevolent as well as malevolent. So on both sides, but I'm sure there are lots more people who have experiences as well, or maybe they don't want to talk about it, or people think, yeah, it's just a story, or but it's actually true. I mean, even if you consider that the reality we're living in is composed of so many different information fields that sort of overlap. It sort of depends on how your consciousness works and what reality presents to you. So what you're saying about your experience in Costa Rica, it might also be just that because your consciousness is more centered, that the reality around us changes. So we are able to see more things than we were used to before. Yeah. Or I mean, there are several explanations that you can think of, but for me personally, I feel that if it truly is a hologram, there's like information fields overlapping. It just depends on what you see on the front side is not necessarily the same what's happening behind. Mm-hmm. So there's so many things happening behind that we can never actually be 100% sure that what you're seeing physically with your eyes is actually the same as what's happening on the backside. Mm-hmm. So we have to trust our own feelings. Yes. to learn to be able to tell, no, this is really real. I am really experiencing this. And even though it might look like science fiction, or like everybody becomes a clone, or yeah, no, this is really real. So it's on trusting yourself and taking yourself seriously as well.
We have to trust ourselves, yes, that's it.
Yeah. And don't call it it's just you being paranoid, because it's happening to a lot of people, and I think more and more as well.
Yeah, to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes. I really talked with a lot of people, and it's time to open it.
Yeah.
It's already open, but we really have to talk about, yes.
Yeah, and not just military people who see things flying, but just on people experiencing different things, and then how reality changes and how it can change from moment to moment, and how it depends on our consciousness as well. Yeah. Hello folks, we're back again. We had a little break. We just wanted to wrap up the video because otherwise we thought it might be too long for you guys to watch. This will be on Kevin's website. If you have any requests or suggestions for other movies or other interviews, let us know. You can leave your comments. And is there anything you would like to say to our viewers?
Yes, of course. So question yourself who you are, and question yourself why you are here and who you are. And yes, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about everything what is happening on the planet. Let's talk about what's happening inside yourself. Let's talk about everything. Let's make everything visible.
Yes.
Yes,
and if you've already asked yourself that question, who am I and what am I doing on this planet, but you haven't found any answers, my suggestion to you is that you take yourself seriously and what you experience and what you really feel deep inside, and don't follow your thoughts but follow your heart. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time, and may the force be with you.
That's it. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.